If you've ever tried making multiple images in Midjourney and wish they all belonged in the same universe, not identical characters, not clones, just the same vibe, then this update is going to make you very happy. Midjourney just released something new called Style Creator. And it finally lets us lock in a custom artistic style and reuse it across completely different prompts. So instead of one image looking painterly, the next one looking hyper-realistic, and the third one looking like a confused Pixar intern made it in 5 minutes before lunch, we can now build a visual tone that stays consistent. For this video, we're going to explore this feature using a fun theme. Something that feels like a children's illustration style. Warm colors, soft shapes, friendly characters. Not because we're making an actual children's book, but because it's a great way to test whether a style really holds together across multiple subjects and scenes. By the end, you'll know how to create a style, refine it over multiple rounds, save it, and reuse it in any prompt you want. Alright, let's jump in! On the left sidebar inside Midjourney, under the Aesthetics section, you'll now see something new. Style Creator, Beta. Click it. Before we type anything, here's the key idea straight from Midjourney's documentation, in plain English. The Style Creator isn't about adjusting prompt wording or tweaking one image. It's a tool that learns from your visual taste. You'll be shown grids full of images, and your job is simple. Pick what feels right, ignore what doesn't. And based on those decisions, not your prompt, Midjourney builds a custom style reference code, also known as sref. Think of it like training Midjourney in your artistic preferences. Not to copy a single character, but to understand the style. Brush strokes, shapes, mood, level of realism, color palette. Basically, the art DNA behind the images. There are two ways to use this tool. Start from scratch inside the Style Creator, or open it directly from an image you've already made by hovering over the prompt and clicking the Style Creator icon. For this demo, we're starting fresh, using the theme of a friendly fox in a warm storybook-style world. It would be our visual theme for testing whether the style stays consistent across completely different scenes. Alright, let's begin refining! In the prompt box at the top, type something simple like a whimsical illustration of a fox reading a book under a tree. Midjourney actually recommends simple prompts here, because the text doesn't control the style engine itself, it only guides the previews. So don't overthink it. Since the images Midjourney generates during this process still use GPU time, just like normal create mode, I'm using draft mode here to keep the cost lower while we experiment. We're not illustrating the story yet. We are shaping the aesthetics of that story. Hit generate. You'll get a large grid of images. Some will be foxes, some will be giraffes, deer, random woodland animals, and maybe one creature that looks like it wandered in from a completely different franchise. That's normal. Hover over the images and click the ones that feel like they belong in the same picture book universe. Soft colors, friendly expressions, brush stroke texture, and that gentle fairy tale warmth. As soon as you start selecting images, look to the bottom right corner. The button there now changes to Refine Style. Click it. Midjourney now generates a new grid based on the choices you made. Under the grid, you'll also see a progress indicator. For best results, refine at least 5 times. So yes, we're doing 5 rounds. Think of it like teaching Midjourney, not what to draw, but how it should look. Each round, the grid becomes closer to the aesthetic we want. Early rounds are broader, we select more images. Later rounds, we get picky. A little rule of thumb I like to use. Round 1, cast the net wide. Round 2 and 3, narrow the tone. Round 4 and 5, dial in precision. Only pick images that feel intentionally cohesive. By round 5, the grid feels stable, like every image could live in the same children's book. And now something new appears. A button labeled Complete Tutorial. That button does not appear earlier, only after finishing the required refinement process. Click it. After we finish our 5th refinement round and click Complete Tutorial, something new appears. On the right side of the screen, you'll see a vertical strip of images, one from each stage of the refinement process, plus the original. These aren't just previews, these are the actual generated images, and each one uses the style logic we shaped step by step. This strip lets you scroll through and compare how your decisions influence the look, the textures, shapes, colors, and overall vibe across the entire process. This is basically Midjourney saying, here's how your taste shaped the visual identity. Now, an important note about cost. Midjourney doesn't generate these comparison images for free. Each of the images in this column, the original prompt plus the 5 refinement rounds, counts as a normal generated image and uses GPU time. So if you do a full 5-stage refinement like we just did, you'll end up with multiple final images visible in your Create tab. And each one is built just like any other Midjourney generation. At this point, we're done. Click End Session at the top of the interface. This part isn't obvious unless you look closely. Style Creator doesn't just give you a visual result. It saves a style code inside each generated job. To find it, go to Create. Look at the prompt details on the right of the final Fox images. You'll see something like style and some number, seed and another number. The style number, that's the treasure. That's the key you can now reuse in any future prompt to recreate the same visual universe. Now, small correction for expectations. This style code does not guarantee the same character every time. The fox may look older, younger, fluffier, skinnier, like it just studied abroad or switched shampoo brands. But the world, the colors, the brush strokes, the style remains consistent. And that's the magic. And if you want your character to stay consistent as well, not just the style, I already made a full video that walked through that topic step by step. I link it so you can check it out after this one. Now that we have our style code, let's actually use it. We'll start with a fresh prompt. Something completely different from the fox under a tree image we refined with. For example, a cozy watercolor illustration of a baby fox learning to bake cookies in a warm kitchen, soft lighting, cute and expressive eyes. Before we generate it, we add the style we created earlier. To do that, just click the style number shown in the prompt panel of one of the images we created during the refinement process. When you click it, Midjourney automatically adds the correct parameter to the end of your prompt, and it looks like this: _sref and the style code. Now we send it. And this is where it gets fun. The fox may not look identical to the original one, but the illustration feels like it belongs in the same world. Same textures, same softness, same fairy tale warmth. Once you've tested the first one, you can try more. This time we'll go a little faster. A magical winter scene of the same whimsical fox ice skating on a frozen pond surrounded by glowing lanterns and soft snow falling. A whimsical illustration of a curious raccoon inventor building a tiny steampunk flying machine. Colorful autumn leaves swirling around. A friendly fox teacher standing beside a chalkboard, pointing with a wooden stick while smiling, surrounded by small woodland animals sitting at tiny desks. Different characters, different actions, different scenes. But the style, the feeling stays consistent. And that's exactly why this tool exists. Right now, there is no built-in archive that lists all your saved style codes. The only way to retrieve a style is to open one of the images that used it. So here's a helpful workflow tip. Go to Organize, select all the images created with this style, create a folder, add the selected images to that folder. Now, whenever future you think, wait, what was that magical style number again? Bam! It's right there. So that's the new Midjourney Style Creator. It doesn't just make a single cute picture, it gives you a visual identity you can carry into multiple scenes, worlds, and eventually a full illustrated story. If you're experimenting with picture books, world building, character-driven storytelling, or even consistent branding, this tool opens a door Midjourney never had before. If this walkthrough helped you, tap like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which style should we build next. Now it's your turn. Play with it, refine it, and watch your ideas turn into something beautiful. And I'll see you in the next one!